Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Serein, and today I have a very special guest, Kathy from Selfkaire. If you listen to our podcast, Behind the Beauty podcast on iTunes, then you know that Kathy was already a guest over there, and I got so many questions about how to actually use the self-care tool that I am obsessed with and have seen such a huge difference. I wanted to have her on here, recap a little bit about where self-care comes from, and share with you guys how the tool works. Welcome.
Hello, guys.
And look how gorgeous she is. Like, I'm just,
Thank
you're
you.
so
Look how
pretty.
gorgeous she is. And she matches with the couch, which is so cute.
Not planned whatsoever. We are at Ipsy Studios. Thank you, Ipsy, for having us, by the way. Just really quickly, let's talk about your history and how you discovered and started kind of like testing on yourself.
When I first started out, I was working like 80 to 100 hours a week, and that took like such a huge toll on my body. I was getting crazy leg swelling, lung infections, and then I got sick from eating like literally everything, and it was making me miserable. But then my doctors actually couldn't help me, so I finally went to go see my family's Eastern medicine practitioner, and she like kind of changed my life because I didn't really believe it because I was like, there's no way that like just seeing her and she's just like doing some crazy like medieval torture stuff on me is gonna actually work. And I was thinking like, okay, this really hurts, but maybe if I just last through it, it'll be fine. It actually worked, and it fixed almost all of my problems, and I don't get really leg swelling at all anymore. But after that, I was like thinking, how do I maybe remove the medieval torture device portion of it? And like, let's say 8 to 9 years later, here we are.
The biggest thing is when you went to see this woman, she did something where there was like heavy metals in you that she's pulling out.
Yeah, so she did the crazy torture where she scrubs me. It's kind of similar to gua sha, but like imagine 200 pounds behind it, and like more like not so much a nice piece of jade, but something much more painful. And then she did cupping, wet cupping, where they poke you with a diabetic needle, so they pull out the stagnated air, the toxins, and everything. And I was like, you know what? It's probably just gonna be some blood. That's normal. But when she showed it to me, there was this silver liquid, and it actually looked kind of like mercury, which was absolutely shocking. She didn't even react. She was just like, "Oh, this is not normal." Like, and I was like, "What is that?" And she said it was heavy metal toxins, and I was like, "This is normal?" And she said, well, I usually see this in my much older patients, and you're kind of young, so I guess not. But you know what? It's fine." And that like totally freaked me out, and that's why I started like looking into this further.
You were actually in grad school when you first kind of came out with this device, right, for yourself?
Yeah.
Then you started testing it on your leg using this tool, the prototype, on one side of your leg. And it completely changed the health and the look of the skin and the fat and muscles. And the other leg that you weren't doing this on, you're like, oh.
Yeah. It was really awkward because I just didn't think it was going to work because I had like cycled through so many different prototypes and tried so many different things. And I did it honestly one drunken night because I was like, I need to test this, but I'm really lazy. And I was doing it and I was like, this really hurts, but I'm not really using any pressure. But you know what? Like maybe I'm just drunk and imagining things. But then like literally a week later, I looked down on my like hips, and one side was like super bumpy, like the normal cellulite like hips when you sit down. And then the other side was like it just like one looked terrible. One looked a lot better, and I had only used it just that one drunken night, like a little bit hard, but definitely just that one time. And that's when I was just like, oh, well, maybe I should stop whatever I'm doing, which I was doing like finance very different before, and maybe try to do this so that I could help other people who like, also want to change, but like not do anything like crazy drastic and, invasive.
I feel like gua sha and jade rolling, which has been around in Eastern practices forever, it's become more mainstream. So everyone knows or has seen what a gua sha is and what jade rolling is. But then when you actually reached out and told me about your tool, I was like, okay. I was kind of like you. I'm like, what? Like gua sha and jade rolling works, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal. And you just were so adamant in your email that I should try this. And you're so personal in your email, which is very rare. You sent it to me, and I kind of was like, oh, this is nice. What's interesting is it's very weighted. So I'm not having to like push or have to use too much pressure or anything like that and still get some of the benefits. It wasn't until I met you in person and saw these photos of you that I was like, what? How do I do this? The crazy thing is there is no right or wrong way technically, but there's guidance to get you started. And when you told me that I could like fix my jawline, because it wasn't your photo, but there was another person's photo that you guys showed me that was like she was really worried about her jawline, and that's my biggest concern. I'm like doing it at home, and then randomly Chris was like, did you lose, like, what are you doing? Like, is it that Selfkaire tool? Because your jawline is more defined. He was like, are you wearing more contour? Like, what is it? And I was like, no, I've just been using the Selfkaire like every night. It really works. And then we got you on the podcast, and now I'm like doing all over my body because you had said you could do it on your abs. You can do it like I'm trying to carve this area out. I love doing it on the heart, but there is something to this whole detoxification and drainage and lymphatic drainage. I don't know how to explain it. Like, is there something that you can say, like, without giving away the magic behind it?
So what it really is we have like, so our tool is both design and utility patent pending, and that's actually the explanation, like on top of the weight, of why you use so little pressure and you can feel it so much. So I actually just recently met up with one of my massage therapist friends, and she was not a believer because she's like, there's nothing better than my fingers, which is like, you know, like she's so used to giving these really deep tissue not Swedish, but Thai massages. And then when she used it, she was just like, no, this is way stronger than my fingers. And she's like, then this is actually like really getting it, because she usually puts hot stones on people's bodies to heat up their body, because in like Eastern medicine, in order to detox, your body needs to be heated. So you either take a bath, or you do the hot stones, or you do like cardio, which is not my thing, so I've never done that. If you use it on your skin for just a little bit, or just over clothing or whatever, it actually starts heating up like pretty quickly. So it bypasses that entire like 20-minute step. I'm trying to keep everything like a little bit of a trade secret, but what it really is that your body has toxins on almost every single layer. On the skin, it comes out as like acne. On the fat layer, it comes out as cellulite or stubborn fat, like that fat that no matter how much you diet or exercise, it's still there and you can't figure out why. And on the muscle layer, it's like a lot of lactic acid buildup, cramping, and just really bulky muscles that people tell you like, oh, it's like super genetic, this is just the way it is. All of that is just toxic buildup, and you need to like flush it out. And it's not something that you can just do with like a juice cleanse, because it's not actually getting into your deep tissue. People do deep tissue massages, but you know, they're very slow. And my massage therapist friend even talked about how sometimes people quit on her because it's so slow, it takes so long, and it's so much commitment. So this tool is supposed to just kind of help with all of that and make it quick and something that you can do at home.
When I first started doing it on the back of my arms, which is like a trouble area for me, it really hurt.
Yeah, mine too. Oh my God, I think I was like lightly, like I was barely touching it. I was just like, this does not feel good.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
And I thought maybe I was pushing really hard. I don't know what was happening, but you're like, no, it's just because that's where all your toxic buildup is, which makes sense because this is, you know, I train triceps 3 times a week, and this is not getting smaller. You're like, just keep doing it. And so I did, and it doesn't hurt anymore. Like, it depends on my week or month, but definitely it's not that same intensity because there's not as much toxic buildup. Purge that. And a lot of us aren't lucky enough to get monthly massages, which
no, you're supposed to get it like weekly.
Yeah, I can't afford weekly. I can
They're expensive.
I rather get facials just because that's like my priority, but I can't get facials and massages. It's a very privileged thing to be able to get weekly massages at the rate we're supposed to really detoxify our bodies. This is definitely a more cost-effective way to get that everything, really. And this can, a lot of times people are like, how can I get a facial? They're so expensive. I can only get one a year and things like that. I'm like, well, obviously take care of your skin. You shouldn't do extractions at home or anything like that, but you can do exfoliations and masks and take care of your skin. And this, because so much of a facial is getting that, just circulating the blood flow and having someone like massage your face. I like use it on my cheekbones. I go into this area. This is her sample. I don't want to like touch it to my face.
No, you can go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go all, I clean them. You're good.
So I get a little more aggressive when I'm not wearing makeup. And then this area, this little area for me. Like I want to get this little pocket of fat right there. Tone that muscle. If you guys watch my skincare skincare at home stuff, you see that I've been using this for a few months now. Everyone wants a like long neck. And you're telling me like you don't have to do it every day for the rest of your life either.
I recommend like a month for like a full detoxing effect, and I always recommend you take a break after, because like with like any detox, you kind of need to give your body some time to heal. And then that's because as you're doing this and flushing out the toxins, your body is actually sending liquids to flush out the toxins. But the great thing about this tool is it's actually improving lymphatic drainage. So unlike when I used to get my treatments, and then I would get like giant welts, and then it would like double in size, and then a month later finally I'm like, oh, I see a difference. This kind of bypasses all of that, so you don't look like a crazy person with like a giant arm on one side and a normal size arm on the other side. But once you kind of detox the first time, you don't really have to do it until you feel it building up, because, you know, like, let's name a few things, like excessive drinking, usually my vice. I don't really work out, so like I'll just, like, if I'm on the plane a lot, like I'll feel my legs starting to feel a little crampy. But then the second, third, like every time you do it after that, it gets easier and faster and faster. Like you could sometimes, like, I'll feel the effects and I'll roll it once, like just one night, and the next day I'm good.
Oh, and because you've already had that major detox.
Yes.
You know, I've been working out, but there's just that little bit of fat. I like junk food, so that's my vice. Yours is alcohol.
Also mine too. Yeah, I like sweets and cake and everything. I have too many vices.
I feel like it's toned my skin. So with my working out and or weight loss, your skin starts getting like, it doesn't catch up as quickly as maybe how your body's shrinking. And so this like tightened up my skin and made it smoother. So the jade one and the quartz one are going to be at Free People. That is so exciting. The quartz one is like a pink stone, and these are so gorgeous. I think they're really, really pretty. My other thing I love about these tools is that they're made of surgical steel. It's really easy to maintain and clean, because I didn't even think about this, but you had mentioned, you know, unlike traditional jade rollers where it's quartz and jade, it's very porous material.
Yeah, and it's like not sanitary, especially because people use it with like their skincare and stuff, and it just absorbs it with the bacteria. And then also that the metal they use, especially with jade rollers, is not like good quality, so it just starts rusting, and that's how you get that really squeaky sound. And like, you know, like people use it for like their beauty ritual to kind of de-stress. And I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like that's not like an additive positive effect to be like the whole time.
Quality really does matter. I always preach like quality over quantity. So if you're only going to get like one tool, get the more quality tool. And then there's also this one, which you recommend for like people like me who love the gym.
Yes, because it's super scratch resistant, and like honestly, like I've dropped this like a billion times on concrete, on cement, everything. It still looks, and this has gone through like a lot of wear and tear, and it's still like you really can't see anything. It looks just normal.
So this one's the matte version. This one's the diamond cut, and then this one's the daisy. Oh, look, see, I'm getting good at like separating them as well. There's a bunch of different ones to choose from the site.
Like the reason why I put the jade and the rose quartz is because like jade rollers have been around for like so long, right? But I also have the issue with them breaking, squeaking, and then I think my partner had one, and then she brought it out to me, and I was just like, this is like rusting, like in every single, like this is disgusting. So I made this so that if you wanted to flip it over, you can just flip it over and then use it as a traditional roller, because this handle goes either way.
Oh my gosh. That makes so much sense.
Exactly.
Love that.
Yeah. You can use it over clothes, and you can also use it over makeup. So when you use it over makeup, especially like, you know, I have now on makeup, so instead of like doing the gliding motion, you just press and then you rotate it. So you don't actually like drag it along the skin, and then you just rotate it. And then sometimes I'll do my smile lines when I'm just like sitting there with nothing to do, and then my makeup perfectly intact. And then with clothes, I've actually like, we were doing a show in New York, and it was like really cold and snowing, so I didn't want people to take off their winter coats, so I was just testing it over their winter coats, and I was like, oh, can you feel it? And they're like, yeah, it's like a Canada Goose, and they're like, I can actually feel it over my clothes. So if you're at the office and stuff, you don't need to just like get naked, put on oil to use this. You can just like literally be sitting there like rolling this on your thighs or whatever, anytime.
When I wear heels, my ankles get swollen the next day. So I've been using it on my ankles too, to just kind of like take down that swelling, and it feels really good. I know so many of you guys ask like, how do I use it? But there really isn't like a wrong way.
No.
I personally on your face would always say lift
Also, speaking of the ankles, I actually have crazy ankle swelling. That was one of my biggest issues. But this is actually designed so that it can catch like your ankle. So if you need to catch that thing right underneath your ankle bone, you can actually focus all the pressure on just one pin and really get it. And then if you flip this over to the back of the ankle, this is designed so that it just perfectly carves into your ankle bone, and then you can just roll it there. So it's like a nice little fit. Only thing I would say though, that I would say for very specific instructions is, you know that like ab line that everyone wants that just cuts straight down the middle? That's the only part I would say you need to horizontally go all the way down. Just because if you go vertically, it's not really helping like accentuate the ab line. This will actually catch it, and you'll notice like a feeling like right now. I just did this right now. Now my abs kind of hurt, but like that's fine. I haven't done this.
You're like, I don't do workouts, but I have a six pack.
But I do this. Yeah, and then it's crazy because you can actually like see my ab line. Maybe not right now because I kind of just binge ate something, but you know, but normally like you actually can. A lot of like what's on your body is just fluid retention from all the toxic buildup in every single layer of tissue. And when you detox, it like your body no longer retains that fluid, and any like muscle or any kind of definition you have just gets like accentuated so much more, and that's why it's like great for you that you're using this with workouts and with everything else too. So on the sides, actually, I would recommend going up and down. So
well,
you
I do
switch
that
it.
like this.
Yeah.
Is that where you mean?
Yeah, so basically everything outside of your ab line, I recommend going up and down so that it hits that ab contour, and you can really feel it catch. And then especially if you want definition on the waist, you definitely go up and down just along the entire curvature.
I've been doing this like on my waistline to try and get to get that like divot. For the love handles, I go this way. Is that right?
You can go any. I tend to just go up and down too. Like I'll just be sitting on. It looks like look like I'm an old lady on a plane, but I sometimes just hold it like flipped over like this, and I'll just like sit there and go like this.
So I was holding it like this for the back of my legs, but then I had seen you do it like
Yeah.
this.
So for the legs, I actually hold it like I just hold it the way you do,
Okay.
because I like to put a little bit extra pressure. Because the way it works is that all of this is being processed out through your lymphatic system, which is in your chest. So you'll see results from like chest up much faster than chest down. So I usually always use more pressure chest down. This is for like low pressure and like for the face. If you do it straight down, it helps define this sideline down, and then you do it on the back so that the back part, you know, whatever usually pudges out shouldn't pudge out, and then you do the same for the front part. And
All the like boob fat.
yeah, you also just get this whole area, because the bra bulge is like something that it's like people just think you can't get rid of it, but really it's just so it's the constraints of your bra over time that kind of cut off lymphatic circulation. So that's why I've also switched to bras without underwires.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, because it's actually really, really bad. So that was like I had like these like I kind of had like a divot like right under my boob, like kind of the top ab, where like it was always slightly pudgier than everything else, and I could never understand. And I dieted, and I was young, so I was even more like confused. Lack of circulation from like the bra.
Well, there's been studies about how the underwire and the bras are actually causing a lot of circulation problems.
Yeah.
Crazy, you know, because I was always told you have to wear a bra all the time if you want to keep your boobs lifted. But it's actually been proven that you shouldn't if you want to keep your boob health like nice, is to like give yourself a break from a bra.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming and talking about it.
Of course.
If you guys have any like specific questions or anything like that, check them out on Instagram as well as their website, but definitely Instagram. You guys are really active on Instagram, I think more than I am. So I will have everything linked in the description box. Right now, they're available on the website, which is linked in the description box, and hopefully soon, by the time this video goes out, very soon, at Free People. Yay! Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys back here next week. Bye!